also errors or loopholes in the manner in which they conducted themselves on the day?
Okay. I mean, I will take them in segments. For us, first of all, the grounds for the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State were not inexistent as at the time the president made the declaration. It is our view that the facts as presented did not justify a declaration of state of emergency. They did not meet the threshold or the facts and circumstances that enumerated under Section 3(5) subsection 2. Now, the next segment is whether, assuming that as lawyers say, without conceding that the president was right in declaring a state of emergency, was he right in suspending the governor and his deputy as well as the House of Assembly? We also went on to say, and still insist, that that declaration too was unconstitutional. Because Section 11(4) of the Constitution makes it clear that declaration of a state of emergency does not extend to power of the National Assembly to remove a governor. Now, if you know that under Section 305, subsection 5, the declaration by the president does not really become law until it is ratified by a resolution of the National Assembly. So you understand in what context Section 11(4) of the Constitution says that provided that the National Assembly does not have the power to remove the governor and his deputy. Now, the substance of this is, what is a state of emergency? State of emergency is merely a declaration that allows the government to take extra measures to deal with the situation, either war, breakdown, law of order, or any of the things enumerated in Section 305 too. So it could be abridgment of the fundamental rights of the people. It could lead to maybe government taking possession of people's homes or doing things that would ordinarily have been unconstitutional, but for the existence of a state of emergency. It does not extend to the dismantling of democratic structures in a state where a state of emergency has been declared. And it was on that basis that we also posited that if the act of the declaration itself was unconstitutional, that the ratification of the same by both chambers of the National Assembly cannot cure the defect. And if you go into it further, the Constitution has stated that the National Assembly, both chambers of the National Assembly shall by 2/3 majority ratify it. It means that for you to ensure that the constitutional provision has been adhered to, you must indicate the number of persons who attended the sittings and the number of persons who voted for, against, or who abstained from voting. So you can't cure that by a voice vote. So a voice vote falls short of the constitutional requirement, because by a voice vote, you're unable to know whether you have met the constitutional threshold for ratification. So the use of voice vote in both chambers also underscore the unconstitutionality of the whole action. So even that quote and unquote ratification by the National Assembly does not meet the constitutional monster, and it is self-unconstitutional.
Yeah, President, let me quickly take you up on a few issues here. And if you look at perhaps that those who are saying there's some emergency laws that are permitted giving an omnibus power to the president to do as he deems fit or necessary in the circumstance. And in fact, there are those who have read subsection 5 of 305 and subsection 6 and say, look, these are issues that have been raised, and when the president sees something as imminent danger, how do you describe imminent danger? But the question right here is that in exercise of the duties of the president, discretion is also being put in some of the clauses.
So there's discretion and there's objectivity. The president cannot wake up on the wrong side of his bed and feel, oh, I think there's breakdown of law and order in a state. I hereby declare a state of emergency. I hereby suspend the governor for 1 year. I suspend the sitting of the House of Assembly. I also appoint General this retired to take over. That would be a key on the Constitution.
On one hand, President.
On one hand, that discretion is not a discretion that is without checks and balances. It must be within the ambit of the law.
So on one hand, declaration of state of emergency, there isn't anything wrong with it, if it's right.
If it is right.
But suspension of
can never be right. Under no circumstance will it be right. So they are democratically elected government, and no president has the power to suspend another democratically elected officer. If you look at Section 188, 188, I guess, of the Constitution, on how a governor of a state can cease to hold office, declaration of state of emergency is not one of the grounds.
So whatever President Tinubu did last week Tuesday is absolute and is done. Nothing can shake it.
I don't think that it would be right to say that nothing can shake it. They can be set aside by a court. And the president can also say, you know what, I realize that I made a mistake. I reverse it, even though it's been approved by the National Assembly. I think we don't need to go down that route.
Is it also fair on him for those who have described his action as undemocratic? Because there are those who say you do not have 100% picture of what the president is saying. He has security briefings, he's seeing a whole lot of things, he's being told this, he's being told that, and there are threats that have been made in the creeks to bring down the nation's mainsail of the economy. Would you have said that the president should have waited?
So when I heard that argument, I only say, what kind of briefing has he also been getting about Benue, Osho, Borno, Yobe, Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, where people have lost their lives, where there is an insurgency, terrorism? Is it only in rivers? You just talked about Oshun before we go to this interview segment. And if the president has said this, can we have some credible things? And as far as I'm concerned, while I may not be privy to the briefing he has received, I can only point to the content or substance of his address, which only referred to two explosions, and the fact of the intractable political crisis between the governor and his godfather. So, I'm allowed to look at these issues as presented by the president in his address in appraising whether the grounds for declaration of state of emergency exist. And an objective appraisal of the same comes out with a resounding no. Because at the end of the day, it was all about the governor not being able to settle the crisis after the court judgment, after not taking advice, not doing this, house not sitting. And even though I don't want to go questioning the narrative as contained in that address, the point is that the rivers problem is being cured with a wrong solution, in my thinking. To me, it's like taking a sledgehammer to your head because of a headache. The measures being taken to address the rivers problem are overreaching, are extensive, are undemocratic, and above all, unconstitutional.
I mean, you heard the arguments and the defense of Chief Lateef Fagbemi, the Attorney General of the Federation. For you, is that tenable?
Thanks for watching this video, my people. This one I matter how that is Niger updates, Niger Wala, Niger news. Anyway, my people, if today is the first time I'm posting us here on Facebook, please do well to follow this page for more videos and for more updates. We're going to drop updates back to back on this great platform concerning the things that happen for this country and the one that happen outside the country. Thanks for your support. I really appreciate you all. May the good God continue to bless you all for me. And please don't forget, hit the like button and do well to share this video so that Facebook will recommend this video to others out there. If you feel it possible, I beg, if you share them, for Facebook group, if you share them, for WhatsApp group, for those who never hear this information, for those who never hear this news, so that they will follow up to see what they go on, for the country. And feel free, to drop your opinion, in the comment section, so that we can analyze it together. What do you guys think about this video? What do you guys think about this update? Feel free, to drop your opinion on the comment section. So guys, see you guys in the next video. God bless you all.